Hello, and welcome to the Art of Intuition podcast. My name is Susan Jane, and I believe that trusting your intuition is the best way to live your life with meaning and purpose. Each week you will hear about how you can connect, develop, and trust your intuition through interviews with other guests and my own personal experiences. Join me to understand how your intuition can guide you towards a life full of meaning and loving purpose. Hello and welcome to the Art of Intuition podcast. My name is Susan Jane and I'm your host for this podcast. Now today I'm talking all about the 7 levels of attraction. Now, I'm talking about this because there was a time there when I owned one of those devices. They went onto the computers. You put your hands on the little device. I think it was like a feedback mechanism. And you got to see the color of your aura and the chakras. Now, when I first started doing this, like in my 20s, when I first had my aura photo done, I was just amazed. I've had it done a few times and I just loved how it looked. And the ability to be able to see it myself through the photo. So when these new techniques came out, they also had the chakras in them, the 7 chakras in them. So I purchased one of these devices and I used to do a lot of readings. Now, it started off doing the aura readings, and although I could see people's auras, when I focused in on them, I could see people's auras. However, what happened was that people couldn't see their own. And when somebody has a visual, you get a better understanding of it. So using this device, this feedback mechanism, allowed people to see for themselves, and they could see it live. You had it going live, and I would have the computer screen up so they could actually see themselves and the auras and the chakras around them. Maybe the auras around them, not the chakras. That was when you printed it out. So it was really interesting to see people's faces and the questions they would ask. So what started off as aura readings soon turned into chakra readings. Now, I really enjoyed the understanding of the chakras and what they meant and where they went. And there's lots and lots of information you can get from them. But as I started to develop, now we're talking about like a 10, 15-year period. We're talking about quite a bit of time. I used to run these find your ideal partner, improve your professional engagement or boost your spiritual connections, because these chakras would give you connections with other people. So I started to look at how people were attracting the wrong type of partners, how people were connecting when they knew it didn't feel right, but they would still connect with somebody. Things like we would settle for things that were possibly not really where we needed to go. So I started to look at all different things like that and get an understanding of what these chakras meant. Now, in my little spiel, when I started doing this, I sort of said, look, this is the spiel. I'll read the spiel for you because I've actually gone back into some of my old paperwork to get an understanding of what I put out there and why I put it out there. I created a lot of different things and haven't used it to its best ability. So I've got all this information here that I want to be able to give out to people, and I'm going to be putting a lot of this on the website. But this was my blurb for these workshops that I was doing. Imagine knowing deep down that there is a perfect partner or person waiting to connect with you, that you don't have to talk to everyone through trial and error to find your ideal connection. Picture yourself feeling confident and relaxed, knowing that your potential partner will naturally be drawn to you. Now, my life changed dramatically when my 20-year marriage ended, and I basically had to jump back onto the dating wagon. Now, I had a lot of experience connecting with people because I was doing my life coaching and I was doing a lot of the intuitive readings and things like that. But it was very different when it came to dating, especially with this sort of high-tech era now. Before it was only a few choices that you could go to meet people, whereas online there was sort of a little bit harder. And you know what? I wasn't a spring chicken, and I sort of felt really out of my depth. But deep down, my intuition knew that relationships were still there, and it's still all about connecting and connecting properly with people. So when I got this machine, this aura reading machine, and it had all the chakras in it, it really gave me an understanding of different ways that we connect with people. And because we're connecting through the 7 chakras, that is, I don't know, it gives you a better understanding of how you're actually connecting with them. Now, let me explain this a little bit more too. So you've got your aura, and your aura is like your filter, your main filter. And then we've got our chakras. Now, let me explain exactly what your chakras are. So there's 7 power points of life force in the body. What they translate to or mean is like, it means like a wheel or disc of light in Sanskrit. Now, they're the areas of the human body that circulate energy or the life force known as prana. The main chakras are vertically aligned in the body, so we're going up and down the spine. And if they're unbalanced or blocked, they can affect physical, mental, and spiritual health. Now, I used to do a lot of, in my healing times, I used to do a lot of work on the chakras, and you certainly, that you've got your main 7, but you've also got smaller ones that are in your palms and in different areas as well. Now, I know they're in your palms because that's how I could tell when I was doing my healing work what was going on. The information, the energy was going via your chakras through your palms. But a lot of people talk about chakras and how they're blocked or how they're restricted and different things like that. And I get that. I understand what they're talking about there. But the thing is, they don't really go into the full details about what chakras are or what they're for. So we know that they're an energy exchange. It wasn't until a couple of years later on when I started working with them that I found out that this is an energy exchange. So it's not just energy coming or going, they're actually doing both. So they're receiving energy and allowing energy to go forward. But why? Why are they doing that? And it wasn't until I started to look at intuition and what intuition was and put the logic to intuition and take away that unsure aspect of it, but put some more logic into intuition, that I realized that the chakras are where the intuitive messages are traveling. They're going to and from. Now, remember, intuition is information from our spiritual side, our spiritual self, to our physical self, our physical body. So this information is coming backwards and forwards through these chakras. That's how this energy exchange, information exchange is going through. So once I started to get that understanding, it started to make a lot more sense. And when we go through the chakras, we can understand that how we're connecting with somebody on these different levels will make a difference between how we connect, if it's the good connection or not. So let's start with the base chakra. Now, we all know where the base chakra is. It's obviously the base. That wasn't very clever. Hang on, let me see if I can I've got a picture here. Let me see if I can bring this one up for you. Let's share this picture. So this is, I want this one. No, I don't want the screen. I want a window. I want that one. Okay. Here's one here I'm sharing. Okay, so you can see that. I will shrink that up a little bit so you can see it better. So that's the chakras. Now, the base is at the bottom in red. And look, you can get so much information on chakras. Look, there's just never ending. So you can go and look and find everything you need for that. So the base one is the root chakra or the base chakra. It's always in the color red. It goes through lots of different areas. It connects with different organs, all that sort of stuff. I am not going to go right through all that because this isn't a chakra one. It's more about a connection one and what it means to. Now on here, and I'm going to put this up on the website, but on here you'll see that the root chakra is all about, or base chakra is all about survival. Okay, so it's about survival. It's about I need. It's the most closest to the physical area. Now, when you're connecting through the base chakra, this is where you'll start to find sensations. I'll put it nicely. So you're meeting somebody and you get that they're oh not so bad, and you get that sensation in the base chakra area. Now that area, which we know where that is by looking at the picture, when you get a sensation down there, it's a very, very sexual urge. It's a very, very strong I need. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're meeting someone for the first time and you do find them attractive. When the spiritual energies are out of balance there, you'll feel flighty, disconnected from reality, and distant. You may begin to doubt your beliefs, stop being loyal and long-term associate or organisations, or find yourself deriving little joy from physical pleasures. That's on the negative side. But on the positive side to that, if you meet somebody and that area is activated, it doesn't necessarily mean they're the be-all and end-all, but it is saying that you're enjoying that while you're looking at it. You're enjoying the whole scenario. So that's that real basic base chakra, closest one to the physical. Now, the base chakra always takes into consideration your survival, as in your food. You need to procreate, you know, the actual sexuality and the touch of it is a physical aspect of it. Food, I said that, water, shelter, and finances. Finances is in the base chakra as well. So your money and things like that, mainly because money is not there for any other reason apart from surviving. It's there to enjoy your life, to survive on a better level than maybe any other way. So that's your base chakra. That's how you're connecting with that. Then we go to the sacral chakra, which is the orange one, which is the next one up. And they call that sexuality and creativity. Now, with this one, the base chakra is about that attraction to someone else. The sacral chakra is definitely about somebody else, is all about someone else. So you have your basic one, which is about survival. And then the second one is about other people. And when I look at this, it's about how the intuitive messages are coming through. So if you're getting intuitive messages about somebody else, it will often come through the sacral chakra, which is below your belly button. So when they talk about gut instincts, it's information you're getting below your belly button or above your belly button. And above your belly button, it's all about you. Below your belly button, it's all about somebody else. So when we're starting to pick up this sort of information, if you feel the information coming through those areas, you have an understanding of where it is coming from and what it is to do with. So I remember somebody asking me about, is there a negative and a positive intuitive messages coming through? And they said to me that they were getting messages low in their belly. And I said, is it above your belly button or below? And they said below. And I said, well, that information isn't necessarily negative, but it is about somebody else. So it could mean that the relationship between you isn't working very well, or something that's happening to them isn't working well if you perceive it as a negative. Or it could just be as more of a warning, watch where you're going. So watch what you're doing with that person or what that person is doing. So when we think about it, we get that understanding of the one below your belly button, your sacral, is more about other people. It also matches with longevity. It's the I want. It's all to do with reproduction, okay, which is, again, somebody else. You're having a baby, it is somebody else. It's something else. So we look at that side of it. So the base one is all about survival. It's all about the basic physical elements, the touching, the aspect like that. The sacral, the next one up, is all about other people. So the information coming through them is about other people. The solar plexus, which is above your belly button, is to do with your own personal power, right? It's all about you. So information coming through there is all about you. When they sort of go, oh, I get a gut feeling about that, that's usually about you. So it is how you are perceiving what's going on, how you are seeing what's happening, how it's going to affect you. So your information coming through your solar plexus is definitely targeted for you. So be aware of that one. And that's all about the I have. So the base was I need, sacral was I want, and then the solar plexus is I have. And then we come to the heart chakra. Now, the heart chakra, when you're looking at that image, you can see the heart chakra is it's in the middle, right? The 3 at the bottom are definitely more physical, and the lower we go, the more physical it is. And the 3 at the top are more spiritual. And the higher you go, the more spiritual it is. So the heart chakra is the one that brings it all together. Now, that's obviously about love. It's about healing. And it's classed as I become, right? Now, with this heart chakra, when you're feeling intuitive messages through there, there's a difference, and you'll know there's a difference between when you love someone and when you lust for someone. There is a big difference, because you will feel it in your body. When you think of that someone special, where are you feeling that in your body? Now, the crazy thing is that with the heart chakra, you can get that energy flowing out through it, and sending energy out. And I do tend to use that. Even when I was doing the healings through the hand, I would still send energy out through the heart chakra. The reason why I did that is because, to me, and I don't know whether this is right or wrong, I have no proof, but to me, it was filtered through love. And that's why I did it that way. If I was having a problem with somebody, if I was having issues, I would send loving information through the heart, or loving energy through the heart chakra. That's how I did it. That's the only way I knew how to do it. So I would be sending that through that way. Now, when you're getting information through there, you know how you can just connect with some people? You just feel really comfortable with some people. You're connecting through the heart. You really are connecting through the heart. When you just sort of walk away from someone and go, I don't know why, but I really like that person. They just felt really nice. That's a heart connection, right? Real strong heart connection. And obviously, well, men and women are very connected through the heart, but women will tend to feel a little bit more. Men will feel more of the physical side of it. So the women will tend to go a little bit higher in that aspect. But, you know, we tend to go through this heart chakra, and it's not always the best way to go. Sometimes we do get carried away with it, and we can be led in the wrong direction. So that's why I say to you, just be really, really mindful where you're feeling the energy, where it's coming through. So intuitively, if it's coming through the heart chakra, we know it's right. One way to work that out is to sit back and sort of go, well, think of that special person, and really feel your chakras, feel where you feel that energy is coming through. And again, it's not wrong if it's coming through the base chakra. We need to be held, we need to be touched, we need to be loved. That's why when you've been on your own for so long, it can be really hard to find that right person. As I said, I was in a 20-year marriage, and I know after my marriage ended, I didn't go out for 2 years. I just was terrified. I just didn't want to go anywhere. But my biggest thing was I was really concerned that I was going to connect on the wrong level and feel it was love when it was really lust. So there is ways to get around that. I'm not going to put that out on the podcast because I don't think that's suitable enough for that. But there is ways that you can connect. And one of them is to just sit with it, have that person there in front of you, visually, you know, like just intuitively, and see where you're connecting from. And believe you me, it doesn't matter where you're connecting from. It can all come still from the heart. And there's no reason why you can't connect on the base and the heart, because, you know, we like to do things like that. I know I do. So we need to have these connections, and it's a really good way of doing that. I find that people who are more empaths, will connect a lot with the sacral chakra. They really will connect more. When I looked at my chakras in my camera, when I did it that way, my sacral chakra was always a lot bigger than my solar plexus. I've always given to others more so than I've given to myself. That's how I have. And I noticed that with a lot of people that are more empathic, they have a larger sacral chakra. And there's ways we can control that too. There's ways we can sort that out. But it's really lovely getting an understanding of it. So that's the heart chakra. Then we go into the throat chakra. Now, when you're connecting with your throat chakra, when it's connecting intuitively through that, you start to say things that you're not consciously aware that you're thinking them. Okay, so the words start to come out. For example, when people are doing channeling, when they're channeling other spirit or other things, it will come through the throat chakra. That's that intuitive messages coming through the throat chakra. Now, I remember in different situations where I've sort of gone, somebody would ask me a question. I know it was when I was going to uni, when I've decided to go to uni, and my girlfriend said to me, what makes you think that, what makes you think you're going to get into uni? And straight away I went, well, and I mean, later on I thought about it. I should have said, well, what makes you think I'm not? But I just sort of went, well, it doesn't matter. If I don't get in where I want to go, I'll still go. I'll do something else. Like my focus was just where I was, that was where I was going, and it didn't really matter about anything else. What was really strange with that is I remember thinking, wow, where did that come from? Because I didn't think it. It just came out. So that's when we're getting this information through the throat chakra. And mine's getting a little bit caught up at the moment, which means I've got some information more information needs to come out. So the throat chakra is all about communication. And if we don't have that right communication, the other chakras aren't going to line up. So we could have this base one going, whoa, yeah, baby, she looks good, or he looks good. But the other ones aren't coming into line. When we're communicating through our throat chakra, that will help the others come into line. The third eye will help others come into line. We really do want all these chakras to be connecting, not one to be over-connecting stronger than the others. They've all got to be balanced off in a nice way. If you haven't got your sacral chakra, if the person you're talking to hasn't got their sacral chakra open enough, yours is this big and theirs is this big, not that they can be that big, but anyway, you know what I mean. If one's really big and one's really small, one could be giving a lot more and the other one just going, oh yeah, bring it on, baby, I don't want to give, I'm just going to take. So, you know, we want all these chakras to sort of line up. If you've got somebody who's got a really big heart and someone's got a very small heart, they just, you know, don't sort of give a lot through the heart chakra, they've been hurt before or whatever, you're going to have trouble communicating on that level. The same with the throat chakra. And some of the boys may have a bit more trouble vocalizing their feelings. Yes, we know that. And some of the girls have too much vocalizing of their feelings and need to allow the other partner to talk. So they need to slow it down a little bit. So their throat chakra might be really big and their partner may be a lot smaller. So we need to be able to communicate properly. Now, if somebody's over talking the other person, then you're not going to get this nice communication through it. So it's all about getting these chakras matching as we're communicating. And again, they're not going to be perfect. That's not what we're after, because it's lovely having those differences, but we still need to be mindful of it. So throat chakra is all about expression and it's all about how you relate. Then we go to the third eye chakra, which is right between the other two eyes, which is about perception, and I know. Now, with the third eye, that's all about the visual side of things, okay? So it's what we see and how we see it. When you're getting intuitive information that way, you will get visions, you will get like dreams, you know, when you have your dreams, they're visions as well. You will get that understanding of what is happening in that context. So when we have like a couple and you have when you see a couple and you see, oh, you know, like someone really tiny and someone really tall, you know, these extreme opposites, that is fine if their vision is how they want it. Like a very tall person could have a vision of wanting to be with somebody who's small, and vice versa. A small person may see a tall person as that protective uh, arrangement and area. So in our vision, it's what we want to see, and some of that vision was also about how we perceive our future to look, how we want things to see. Intuitively, the clairvoyance comes through there. It's the clear seeing that will come through the third eye. We have that real knowing, that really understanding, and that clear seeing. So when we're looking at a connection with somebody, we want to make sure that our future is similar to what their future is going to be, what they perceive their future to be. There is, and it's really hard when you're first meeting somebody, because the attraction is, you just want to, if you're attracted to them, you just want everything to be right. So you tend to agree with things, where you tend to not go deep necessarily with things, especially in a first relationship. In a second relationship, we have learnt a little bit more, supposedly, and so consequently we should be able to look at things a little bit differently. Now, I must admit, when I first started dating again the second time round, you fluctuate. You sort of go from, oh, don't come near me, to, oh, okay, he's okay. But I know that I sort of went, oh, I just didn't want to be there. So I backed right out of relationships for a long time. Just, you know, just wasn't right for me. And when I had developed a better relationship with myself and better understanding with myself, it allowed me then to step forward. And some of these little tricks and some of these little areas that we can see will help us do that. So when I started to look at a relationship with the man I'm with now, and we've been together for 10 years now, when I was first starting to talk to him, one of the things I wanted to understand was this vision. Like, where did he see his life going, and what did he want to do, and where was that, what was that all about? And we both wanted to travel. That was our connection. Our biggest connection is we both want to travel. COVID has not made that very happily for us, very positive, but that's still our goal. Our goal is still to do more traveling. So having an understanding of a vision of our future, there was other aspects that he had that I didn't want, and vice versa, I'm pretty sure. And so there was situations there that we've had to deal with and get through. But our goal has always been the same, to travel together. And because of that, it's given us that bond going forward. That's where we want to go, and that's what we want to do. So that's our vision, and having that connection together through our third eye, and we can see ourselves as little old people sitting on our caravans traveling around Australia. And, you know, I want to do America too. I really would love to do America and do workshops going around America, and the UK. So that they're my goals. Now, he's more than welcome to come along, but if he doesn't want to do that, that's fine. I'm going to do it anyway. So that's my goal. Help me, please. But having that vision means that you've got that connection. You've got another connection there. And the more of these connections that you get, the stronger your relationship will be. If you've been with somebody, you've met them at a very young age, you will find that a lot of these connections will grow on you as you are together. And that's what we hope, that's what we want. We want it to grow. And when we sort of say, the reason why my 20-year marriage didn't work out is we didn't grow together. I actually grew way too quickly for him. I grew and I changed. And he did say to me, well, it's your fault. You're the one who's changed. And I agreed with him. It was my fault. I was the one who's changed. But there was no way known I was going to go back to how I was. I changed in my eyes, for the better. And I developed these chakras, and I developed these strong connections. His connections couldn't keep up. He wasn't opening himself to that. He wasn't allowing that to happen. he was shutting things down, mainly with alcohol, but shutting things down, so he didn't want to go that way, where I was growing and developing and changing. The man that I'm with now he's still got areas that he's growing and developing. I've still got areas that I'm growing and developing, but we've got a lot more connections along those areas. Our sex life, which is your base chakra, is definitely on tune. Our sacral, which is about each other, you know, how I want to connect with him and how he wants to connect with me, is well on tune. Our solar plexus, above the belly button, I make sure I give to myself. I don't expect him to give to me all the time, and he doesn't expect me to give to him. He expects himself to make himself happy, as well as I need to make sure. The heart chakras, well, that was a pretty instant response when I first met him, so we definitely had a connection there. One of my biggest areas was my throat chakra, and why doing these podcasts has been so good for me is because in my 20-year marriage, I could not speak what I was feeling. I was shut down, constantly shut down. I could not speak. My throat chakra went from normal teenager, you know, whatever. I was managing a resort at the age of 25. By 18, I had my own dance school. So I would have had a decent sized throat chakra. It got squashed. I got to the stage where I was too scared to speak in case I was going to get shot down. So with my connection with my man now, my partner now, I have learnt to speak. I have learnt to say, you know what, that doesn't feel right. Just recently, I've been going through a lot of issues that I have turned around and said, well, you know what, I am not happy with this. I will do something about it. And it's having that ability and courage. I guess it is courage, but it isn't really. It shouldn't be courage. We should be able to do that. But I had to build the courage up. I had to build this connection up with my throat chakra, with him. And he knows now when I'm speaking truthfully. I'm speaking honestly. And he's not always going to like it. And I don't always like what he says. But we're being honest. And so we've got this lovely connection now through the throat chakra. The third eye, like I said, we have this vision of going forward. We know where we're going. And then the last one is the crown chakra at the very top. In this image, they're in colours. Sometimes the third eye is the mauve and crown chakra is the white. They'll often get changed around, but the rest of the colours are basically the same. Now, the crown chakra is the spiritual side of it. If you're not connected with that, and I wasn't connected with that with my husband, so we never talked about spiritual stuff. We never ever went that way. With my partner now, we talk about it all the time. It's one of our main conversations. He helps people pass over, people that have passed. He helps them to the light. He does his own spiritual work his way. He's going to kill me for telling you that, because that's one thing he has done. He's always kept it quite to himself. But you know, he does these things, and I know he's come to me and he'll say things. He goes, oh, this happened, or I saw that, and he goes, am I going crazy? And it's up to me to sort of go, no, just your normal stuff, you know. And whether I believe him or not doesn't matter. And I do, because I know he's speaking from the heart as well. But because we've got this lovely crown connection and a spiritual connection, we understand it, we see it, we can talk about it. So it's allowed all of those chakras to connect. All of our chakras are connected together. And this is how you can connect with your partner. Just see which ones they are that you feel your connections to. Have you got the spiritual aspect that you can talk to him about? Have you got the vision of the future that you want to have? Can you speak to him? Truly speak to him, not speak at him. Or, sorry, I shouldn't say him. I shouldn't just assume. I do apologise. Speak to her. Speak to them. whatever it is. And it could be, you know, the connection with your children as well. Like we have all that happening too. The base chakra, as far as your connection with your child goes, is to making sure that they have got that security, that roof over their head, food in the cupboard. You know, it's all about these connections that we have. So yeah, just have a little bit of an understanding of it. Now, if you feel that there's any areas that are blocked, there is obviously, there's lots of healers out there that can help you with that sort of thing. But one of the biggest helpers is yourself. I'm a bit of it. I'm not an anti-doctor. I'm not at all an anti-doctor. I just don't go to the doctors very often. I am really, really mindful that we can heal ourselves. We have that ability, and it's not hard. It really is not hard to do that. Obviously, there's times there when we need the help of drugs, or we need the help of supplements, and I'm all for that, but I don't like relying on them. I like to use them, and this is me personally. Please don't take this as a health message, but this is just me personally. If I'm feeling a bit run down, I'm quite happy to take some multivitamins or some herbal supplements and different things like that to boost me up. But I don't like staying on anything. I know when I get a head cold, I'll take the triple strength horseradish and garlic, and I can take them really easy. And then as soon as I start coming good, I gag on them and I can't take them. It's like my body's saying, nah, enough, we've got this, we're done. So, you know, that's just how it is. I have told you about my throat, what happened with my throat, and how I healed that myself, much to the doctor's disgust. But, you know, that's in another podcast. I'm running out of time now, and I wanted to talk about connection with our chakras. So have a think about how you're connecting with people. What does that look like? Oh, that's right. Now, if you have your blockages, that's what I was telling you. Sorry, I apologize. A bit of a meditation. Meditations are always the ability to give yourself some time. If that's nothing else, but just give yourself some time. Give yourself the time to sit there and just check your chakras and just visualize them however you want to. But I tend to visualize them spinning, and because I can't work out which direction they are, and I do believe they're going both directions, I spin it one way and then I spin it the other way. So I like corkscrew one and corkscrew back, and I sort of just allow it to get a little bit bigger and let it settle to where it needs to go. So it's just all visual. But go through each of your chakras and do it visually. You can see the picture up there. If you like, I'll pop that on the website and you can grab that from there. I'll have to do a bit of work to it because it's not branded properly. Oops. But yeah, I'll put that up and you can have that there. So print it out if you like. And then you can just sit there and just visualize those. So the red to start with, let it spin one way, let it spin another way, let it just do what it wants to do, and then go, okay, that's enough, done that. Next color, and just go that way. You don't have to get the whole understanding of it. Just get an understanding of what it sort of feels like for you. When I'm doing intuitive vibes workshops, what I get the people to do is that they actually draw their chakras. So I don't give them a picture like this because I don't want them to do all round ones, but they draw it. So we do a little bit of a meditation. When you're starting to think about your connection with your base chakra, you know, it's the finances, it's the roof over your house, it's the food, it's the security. Base chakra is a lot about security. It's very physical. What would that look like to you? What does that look like? What does being secure look like for you? And what you do is you start to get this image in your head, and I ask them then to draw that image. And then we do a reading on that image. And then we do the sacral chakra, and we do a reading on that image. And we build it all the way up so they can actually see exactly what their chakras look like intuitively to them. And that's how they can get an understanding of how they're connecting and what they're doing and which way they're going. So sometimes we have really big chakras, sometimes they're really small, sometimes they're spiky, sometimes they're smooth, sometimes they're square, all different shapes and sizes, and you're not restricted to colour because the colour is irrelevant for what the image is that you're doing. If your intuition is telling you that this base chakra is really more about the green, really green, it needs to be green, you do it green. And that's what it is. Or it could be multicolored. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. It's what your intuition is trying to give you, this information to help you connect on all these levels. So that's what these intuitive workshops do, or these intuitive vibes workshops, which I've only just I used to do a lot of them. I'm only just bringing everything back out again. I've just been guided to bring it all out. I have done so much information, got so much information in the background there, created these things that it just wasn't time to put them out into the world. But now it is. Now there's this really strong calling for it. And I guess it was because podcasts went around in those days, and now I have the ability to talk. My throat chakra has gone really big. I have the ability to talk and communicate with people, and it's just so lovely. But anyway, I've hit 40 minutes and I shouldn't go this long. So you've got all the understanding of your chakras. I will put it up on the website, intuitivenature.com.au or theartofintuition.com.au. Sorry, I've got both of them running at the moment. It goes to the same web page, so don't worry. So yeah, theartofintuition.com.au. It's Australian business. Connect with me otherwise on Facebook. Now I've got let me put it up here for you. It is the Intuitive Personal Development Facebook. And now a big shout out to Vanessa, who put her dream on it. So she must have listened to the dream podcast, and she put her dream up there. So I hope that one was you got something out of that dream interpretation that I did for you. So big shout out to Vanessa. So jump onto the Facebook, Intuitive Personal Development. You won't get other people throwing a lot of marketing stuff. You only get my stuff on there, but it's my way of being able to connect with you. You can listen to me, you can watch the web TV show, but if you really want to talk to me, the best way is to go that way. At least we can interact that way. So that's me for today. Let me just take off all this stuff that I've got on the screen, and we'll just go back to me, I think. Yeah, that's it. Have a great week. I've got 3 other ladies already lined up, ready to do some interviews, so we'll have some more of those. And stay tuned. I'm going to be putting out a new basic course on developing your intuition. So a real basic one. I want to keep it nice and cheap and easy and accessible for everybody. So I'm going to be putting that out. So it'll kick you off and get you started. So I'm Susan Jane. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed that. And now you've got your 7 connections for a better relationships. That's for sure. Okay, I'll say bye for now.